Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. How you doing today? Today is what is today? October 14th. Oh my goodness. I get on these things and then I say the date and I'm like, it can't possibly be October. Is it October? Yikes. It's a crispy 59 degrees on Apple Watch today, Kansas City. So, what's it like where you guys are? We're having a really nice fall here in the Kansas City area. It's been super warm and nice and really not that rainy so far. So, knock on wood, although this is laminate, I believe. So, yeah, so look at I've got some new funky digs a little bit behind me. So, it's so funny. What this is a black screen and when I tested it at night it looked great, right? And of course it's covering a window and well, looks kind of stupid now with the window shining through. So we'll keep working on that. I keep trying to figure out different sets for doing different things, creating different videos and so on. What's kind of easy to put up and so on. And I'm probably going to have a green screen back there so I can be sitting on the ocean or somewhere cool when I come on these lives. Who knows? So it's Hero Live Hump Day, and I got my cool Restream deck here, so we're gonna kick that off. So let's do the introduction while people are still on, and we'll go from there. So, have you had enough of 2020? Well, if you're finding it hard to focus and enjoy life right now, you're not alone. So stay tuned, and we're going to talk about maybe some ways to calm down during 2020. So, thanks again for joining Hero Live Hump Day. My name is J. Scott McMillan. I'm a life coach, I'm an author, and I've written the book Be the Hero of Your Life. And I help people get unstuck when they've come to a point in their life where they know there's more for them out there, but they just can't figure out how to get there or what that next step is. So I help take people on their own personal hero's journey so they can really understand who they are, which will give them the courage to move forward in their lives and to attain their goals and their dreams. So this is Hero Lump, Hero Life Hump Day. Oh my gosh, Hero Lump. That's really funny. And come on here every Wednesday, do a live to just talk about personal development, talk about the hero's journey, talk about ways that we can help cope with crazy times like 2020 and maybe get some new perspectives on how to live a purpose-filled life. So first thing we do is I'm going to start the day off with the meme of the week. So let's pop this up here today. And this is one again from the universe. And if you follow me on social media, which you really should, I'm usually at J. Scott McMillan. You can all find me at jscottmcmillan.com and all my links to my social media. But this one says, there are no mistakes. If it's appeared on your life's radar, this is why. To teach you that dreams come true, to reveal that you have the power to fix what's broken and heal what hurts, to catapult you beyond seeing with just your physical senses, and to lift the veils that have kept you from seeing that you're already the person you dreamed you'd become. And believe me, that's one heck of a dream. I love that. That's a good one. And I fully believe in that, but I got to tell you guys, I've had a really rough week, maybe a rough couple of weeks, really having to lean in to that idea that how my thoughts go is how my life goes, because there's been lots of negative thoughts that have been creeping in. I got to be honest with you. And I am working on continually trying to calm down and to meditate more and really lean into believing that it's going to be okay, and that I'm going to continue to have positive thoughts. But I'll tell you, it's been rough. But it's why I try to surround myself with information like that meme that I just put up there, and just always remind myself that how I'm thinking is really going to dictate how the rest of the day goes, how the next day goes, how this week goes. And but I just want to be honest with you that it's not always easy, and that I struggle with it. And there are certain weeks that it just gets me down, and I'm a little bit lower than I was the previous week. But it doesn't mean that I'm not continuing to try. And I think that's the difference, because years ago I wouldn't have I would have let all of this overwhelm and stress and some things that are going on that are negative overwhelm me. And I've just learned to lean in to these tools, and to knowing that if I let my brain continue to think in this negative pattern, that it's not going to go good. It's only going to get worse. And so for me, it is lighter, because even though I've got some things that are weighing on me, if I continue to lean into these tools, into believing that if I try to stay in a high vibration, then I'm going to either sail through these things faster or at a higher level than if I were to sink low and just get into negative funk. But just to remind everybody that, life is life, and we're always going to have things that are going to, stand in our way, and that are going to be difficult sometimes. But it's really knowing that we can push through, and that we have the power to continue to stay positive no matter what's happening. So that's a little bit of just off script stuff, but we got some things that I'm certainly going to talk about today. Five basic tips, really, that we can think about when we are facing some either really bad news or just a bunch of negative stuff that's coming in at us. And believe me, in 2020, it's just coming at us left and right. That's for sure. Well, Jerry Miller, how the heck are you? Good to see you on here. Thanks for saying hi. All right, so let's go to a little bit of news here. And Jerry, you're on YouTube. That's really cool, because I've been trying to find people that can comment on YouTube, because I stream to YouTube and to a couple different Facebook pages I have. So good to see you are commenting on YouTube, and then I can see the comments. So awesome. Good news. All right. So let me turn my screen over here. Oh, that's interesting. Hold on a minute. Oh, I've got a little picture-in-picture here. Let's shorten that down here. All right. I'm going to make this big here, though, and cover the screen. I don't know what that does here. Wow, that's big. All right. So anyway, here's the headline that Americans have turned to nesting during this time. It makes sense. Everybody's home. And what this article says, it's kind of funny. I highlighted a couple things here. It says, in May, when the novelty of the quarantine began wearing off, one can only make so many gelatos, I think is what she's saying, out of frozen fruit originally bought for smoothies. My idle hands turned to the problem around me, and with the pathetic beginner's toolkit, I started small. So what she's saying is that she started nesting and trying to fix her house up. So I don't know how many of you have tried to do that, or have felt the need to fix the house up because you're there so much. I just think that's an interesting component. So I think that's good news that people's houses are getting prettier. They're getting more value because people are having more time to fix them up, which is awesome. That's good news. All right, so what else? So we'll pull that one down. Let me grab this one. Okay, this is an interesting one. So let me pop that up here. All right. I don't know if you can see this, but it says actual self-driving taxis are hitting city streets, which is, it's happening. I think it's going to happen this year. So let's see. What did I highlighted a couple things here? Or no, I didn't. But Phoenix is going to get a fleet of these. Let's see. What does it say? 2016 they started, and yeah, it says the company has been testing in Phoenix for 2 years with between 300 and 400 cars. Wow. So it's happening, folks. We are going to see in Phoenix, I don't know how soon, but very soon, taxis, self-driving taxis. I can't believe it's going to happen that fast. I didn't think it was going to happen that fast. Whew. That is amazing. All right. One more here. Major League Baseball. Not that one. So they're going to allow fans into the World Series. And I think that's great news. They are, let's see, I got a frog here. Clear that out. There we go. All right. So I thought what was interesting was what they're doing to allow fans to be in the stands. So listen to these things. So around the stadium, policies are designed to limit touch points and close interactions have been implemented. So it says ticket pedestals, so fans can scan their own digital tickets. That makes sense. The doors are always propped open, so you've got air circulating. A no bag policy to limit the need for close contact during bag checks. Pre-packed concessions, condiments, and utensils. So pre-packed, which is going to be weird because I think half the fun is grabbing a hot dog from the vendors. Excuse me. Seats that are not being sold will be tied up to prevent fans from filling in closer. I mean, that's a standard of baseball, is to try to get a better seat as the game goes on. Stadium staff will be given PPE, full PPE suits. I mean, what are they saying there? Tailgating is prohibited to discourage congregating outside the statement. All transactions will be cashless. Let me get rid of my email here for a second. Let's see. The league decided against temperature checks at the gate because they weighed their limited utility. Not all positive cases will present with a fever. Against the necessity of having a staff member close enough to each entrant to take the forehead read. I agree with that. I don't think the temperature thing does much. People are doing that all over the place. I think it's cool that Major League Baseball said, nope, it doesn't make sense. Entry to the stadium is a point of potential crowding, so metal detectors will be a CDC recommended 6 feet apart and further back from the gate. Markers in all the grounds will indicate where people should stand appropriately distanced. So again, that's pretty standard. Most businesses are doing that. That's cool. Let's see. All the protocols, especially for those around social distancing and mask wearing, which will be a most important precaution for limiting spread. They're only as good as the compliance. MLB and the Rangers, where they're hosting the World Series in Texas, will be relying on game day staff and to police patrons in the community where the basic pandemic best practices become controversial. So they're saying in Texas, mask wearing is controversial still, but they're going to do this. So I think this is fascinating. They're going all out. And if we're going to have any kind of sports or whatever, I think it's good to just put these precautions in and then go play. And without this, there's too much potential for risk. And so I'm all for doing these things and then having sports rather than no sports at all. What else? That's about it. So I don't know. I think that's fascinating. Comment what you guys think about that. Do you think that it makes sense to do that? If that's like overkill? Like I said, I think it's a good idea. But what do you guys think? All right. So that covers it. We're going to dive into content today. So like I said, I'm going to talk about, I don't talk about really the pandemic that much specifically, but I'm basically saying that 2020, the whole year has been crazy. And if you've been finding it hard to focus or to stay positive, Here are some tips that can help you. A statistic I found was that nearly 1 in 5 adults, 18%, say that they've had a physical reaction, or at least some or little of the time when thinking about the outbreak, or 2020. I'm just going to refer to it, and its effects on the economy and life in general. So that's a lot of us out there. Like I said, we've got normal life to deal with, which can have its ups and downs and challenges, right? Normally. And then you throw all this on top of it in 2020. So there are points in time where it can get really really heavy. So let's think of a few things here. So the first thing is simple, but I just wanted to throw it in there, and that is understand that this too shall pass, right? It's going to get better. 2020 is going to move into 2021, and the beginning of 2021 may look like 2020, but I really believe that it'll get better and better in 2021, and I firmly believe that we're going to emerge from this better humans, better community, better family members, and a better world. But I also hope that we use this opportunity, this wake-up call, to push change that needs to happen. And again, I know this has felt, like this has been forever, but it will pass. The second tip is to take advantage of the slowing down. So if you are, if you've been able to work from home and keep your job and work from home, then there's probably, hopefully, a lot of good things that have happened. Now, there's challenges of figuring out how to do the logistics, right, of work with the kids and the family, but there's a lot of good things that can happen out of just slowing down. And the fact that in some places, not as much is opened, and there's just less of going out and doing busy work. And I know that's changed. Like in Kansas City area, we've been open and things have been good for months. Good as in you can still go about and do all the things you need to do, and the streets are full of people. We're just wearing masks, which is great. But even then, there are still less things to do. There's not sports and that kind of stuff we can't do. So there's less. And if, hopefully not, we have to start closing down again here in the winter, let's not panic. Let's use that to really, we'll do some of these ideas here. So let me read a couple. So slowing down can really help us see areas of our life that we hadn't looked at before. We've been putting things off. And as I mentioned early in the broadcast, people are fixing up their houses. They've been putting that off forever. They're just too busy, and now they have time to do it. That's a good thing. Maybe you really just needed a break and just needed to relax and not do anything, not fix up the house, not go running around. Just relax. Recharge. Maybe your workload before was unattainable or unsustainable, and it was hurting you, that you were probably going to get sick if you kept at that pace. And maybe now things have slowed down and you can take advantage of just calming down, relaxing a little bit. Maybe you realize that you were overextended in all things, in running around with the kids, doing everything. And yeah, kids are home now, and there's all the challenges of schooling and so on, but there's a lot less running around, hopping in the car, going here, there, and everywhere. Maybe that's a good thing. Instead of trying to push through all of these issues, and your body probably, migraine headaches and back pain and shoulder pain because life was crazy, maybe you can now listen to your body and say it needs a break. It needs to stay home and relax. So it's typically in the stillness and the calmness where we find answers to things that we've been asking for, but we haven't been able to listen to the answers. And maybe now, as things settle down a little bit, or that you've had more time, you can listen and really figure out some of those answers to the questions you've been asking for a long time. Okay, next one, to start caring about yourself more. So it's a little bit about what I've been talking about before. But it's time to, really take care of yourself. Um, Maybe you realize that you have been running around and trying to do everything for everyone else and neglecting yourself because you had committed to all these different things that were going on in life. And now maybe you can take care of yourself. And I really think this is an important one because when we get stressed out, our immune system lowers. And I say this a lot. This is the key. We need strong immune systems, right? If anything, the stronger our immune systems are, the better we're going to be for flu season, for for the pandemic, for whatever. And stress definitely affects that. So maybe now that you don't run around as much, you can take care of yourself a little bit. You know, we've talked about boundaries a little bit on this program in the past too. And maybe it's time to look at where you haven't had some boundaries before. And maybe you can create some healthy boundaries with some of the people in your life so that you can take care of yourself. Okay, so the next one is to process your feelings. So now is the time to take some time to really figure out what some of these feelings that you've just been pushing away, what they mean. When you get triggered and you're emotional and you're angry or you're sad or you're whatever, what is it being triggered to? Why are some of these emotions that flare up in your life, what do they really mean? And I would venture to say that we all have these. And if you haven't taken time to figure out why you're getting angry, why you're getting frustrated, it's because you're being triggered to something that probably was created a long time ago in your youth that you've carried forward in an unlimiting belief that is in your subconscious now. But when something happens in our life today, we get triggered back to that limiting belief that was created a long time ago. Maybe now's the time to figure out what that is. Go talk to somebody about it. I mean, I always say that therapy is the greatest thing. No matter, it's not a thing that you need to be if you're, seeing things or hearing voices. It's for everybody to talk to somebody about stuff and to think about, why am I getting so angry at this? Why do I behave this way? And if you don't know the answers, it's probably because you've been triggered by something that's in your subconscious. Go take this time now to figure out what that could be. And give yourself some grace. These are hard times for anybody. And no matter what is happening and what you're doing and how you're responding, give yourself some grace and take care of yourself, because it now is the time to do this. And you may think that that's selfish and that you have to still take care of everybody because the kids are home and there's just time to focus even harder. I would beg to differ that now is the time to take advantage of cocooning a little bit and taking care of yourself and figuring out what are some of these beliefs that have been getting in your way. The cool thing about this is that if we take time now, that as we come out of this, we're going to be better people. We're going to have more skills. We're going to have more resilience. Let's take advantage of this time now to build this resilience and this character that maybe we didn't have time for. We're going to be better people coming out of this. I totally believe that. And then also just focus on being happier rather than being successful. Now, I know that it's hard times for some people and that they've got to put food on the table. And that has to happen, and you've got to do that. But if you're in the position where you're okay financially, or at least comfortable, focus on being happy and not trying to, go the extra distance to make that next $1 million or whatever it is, or to just, get that next promotion. These are all really good things. I'm just saying now is a good time, if you can, to surround yourself, calm down, and just try to be happier, because you're going to improve your immune system and your overall health. And when there's so much bombarding us, and I'm not going to be political specifically here, but this election's going to be stressful. We all know it. It's coming. And so let's just prepare ourselves and our bodies. Hello, Monty Cohen. What you saying here, buddy? What do you think about the counterpoint that Karina may have been a gift in some ways? Oh, Karina. Karina, is that the name for Corona these days? Corona, yeah. Well, I agree with it. I agree with you, Monty. I think so. And it, sometimes it's a tough thing to say because, there's some people that are suffering big time. But a lot of us are doing fine. And if we take this time to do a lot of the things that I'm talking about here today, we're going to emerge from this better. Now, that's on the personal side. I think also from the environmental side, we're giving the earth a break to breathe a little bit, to catch up. I think that's good. I think that the wake-up call for technologies, for, just a lot of things, I view this as a catalyst to change. That, and I say this often, use this as a catalyst to change, not to hunker down and be afraid and fearful. Use it as a catalyst to change moving forward. Ride the wave of change. The things are changing whether we like it or not. Let's ride the wave as positively as we can into the future and make it better. And I fully believe that's going to happen. And I think if we do some of the things that I'm talking about today, that we are going to emerge as better people because we've taken the time to kind of work on some stuff that we have neglected in the past. So yeah, I totally agree that it is a gift in some ways. Thanks, Monty. What else have I got here? So make it a goal, a morning goal when you wake up, that you're going to try to be happy about something, at least one thing today. Go out and enjoy some fresh air if you haven't. And that's the one thing that we've been able to do through this whole pandemic, is at least go out and get some fresh air. Thank goodness. Get some good sleep. Take the time now to get some sleep, because sleep is really good for us. It's good for our immune system. So these are just some of the questions you can start asking yourself, each day. And to take the time to really care for yourself. And in other broadcasts, I've talked about ride the wave of change. Figure out what you can do to be a better person, be a better father, husband, wife, mother, brother, sister. Be better in our community. Be better for the world. And that sometimes takes some doing and some things you got to do, some volunteering, some getting out there, but do it safely. And I think the cool thing now, from my perspective, is that it's pretty widely known now that if we all wear masks, we can still do stuff. That article about Major League Baseball, and if you missed that part, go back and watch this replay. So I talked about how Major League Baseball is going to do what they have to do to get the World Series out there. And there's lots of these little steps, but I'd rather have some of these minor inconveniences and have baseball or sports in general than not. And so people are able to do stuff. So we can get out there and do things if we wear masks and social distance, especially outside. Because it's been widely known now that with airflow and so on, if you're not within 6 feet of people and you should be fine. There are some controversy a little bit about that this stuff can travel farther than 6 feet, but I think if you're outdoors, the circulation, you should be fine. That being said, if you're standing on top of somebody outside in a protest or whatever, I think that can be problematic. But the point is, I digressed a little bit. The point is that let's just take this time, this crazy 2020, to chill out, to just cocoon a little bit if we need to fix the house a little bit if we need to fix the internal house, and to emerge out of this better than we were before. And I think it's a fun notion to think about, that we can take this crazy time and actually be better than we were. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So that's all I got for today, folks. If you're on here and you got any questions, comments, I'd love to hear them. If not, and you have a question that you thought about, and maybe you're watching the replay, get in touch with me. Send me an email, PM me, DM me. You can find all the deets at jscottmcmillan.com. And I just wish you guys the best week. I'm going to continue to lean into this and think of one happy thought each day. And I hope you do too. So until next time, we will see you. Thanks, Monty. See you, buddy.